Yo, YouTube, what it do? I just want to come on here and say, man, alcohol and weed slash drugs are the root of all evil. Um, in today's age that we live in, drugs, alcohol abuse, and mental health is real. And it's to the point now where now we have people joking about it online due to the simple fact it's a form of escapism, right? When people can relate to what you are saying, it tends to go over people's heads, aka the joke. That's why the saying goes, there's truth in jokes, because in reality, it's not a joke. They're just trying to mask the fact that what they're going through the joke. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, jokes is cool and all, but in reality, majority of the times it's not a joke, which is why people portray this image online, trying to make it seem like they not going through nothing, trying to make it seem like they don't have an alcohol addiction, trying to make it seem like they don't have a weed problem, trying to make it seem like they don't have an issue with said drugs or said alcohol or said liquor abuse. But in reality, they do. And 9 times out of 10, it's a form of escape. It's a form of escape and a form of coping mechanism due to the simple fact you're facing a deep issue or a deeper issue. And that could be with anything in life. You know what I'm saying? You probably stressing from your job, or you probably went through something with a coworker. You probably went through something with a spouse. You probably didn't went through something tragically. You know, something tragically happened to your family or something like that. And majority of the world has accepted the fact that alcohol and weed is literally the best way as far as an scapegoat and a coping mechanism, all because of, you know, the image that people portray through society. You know what I'm saying? That's all people do. They portray an image through society due to the simple fact of acceptance. You know what I'm saying? Acceptance is a problem. It's a huge issue because 9 times, like, bro, nobody in their heart genuinely desire to do drugs and alcohol. It stems from environment. You get what I'm saying? It stems from environment. That's why I made a video about why environment is so important, because the more you're around successful people, the more you're around people that's doing better than you, the more you're around people that's actually getting after it. Like, we talking about running, we talking about workouts, we talking about eating healthier, we talking about self-improvement, we talking about at least reading for 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day. You know what I'm saying? You willing to spend all this time on a phone screen watching another man or another person life, but you can't even dedicate 20 minutes to 30 minutes to improve your own health and your own wealth as a excuse my French, as a man or as a woman. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's bad because we've come to the conclusion where people have literally masked their depression, their mental health disorders, their mental abuse disorders, emotional health, physicality, spiritually, with vices. Not only did we mask them with vices, but people are accepting the advice. People are accepting the vices. You have people around you telling you one drink ain't gonna hurt, when in reality, no amount of alcohol is healthy for you. They did studies on this. And I don't go based off studies. I go based on what's right. You know what I'm saying? It's not right to drink. It's not right. which is why I don't do it. It's not right to smoke. It's not right to ignore your health. It's not right to ignore what you really got going on within yourself. You know you're not fully okay. You can't convince me otherwise. You can't convince me that you are okay and you doing these types of habits / vices. You know what I'm saying? You have a deeper problem / issue. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some people that can control their, how much they drink and da-da-da-da-da. But that's, even if, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Even if you're a person that do it moderately, you're still degrading your own self, because in reality, no amount of alcohol is good for you, regardless of if you do it once a month, once a week, twice a day. It don't matter how much you do it. No amount is healthy for your brain function, for your physical health. You wonder why your back is getting big and your stomach is literally poking out, because of the habits that you have. The habits that you do on a day-to-day basis is literally the reason why you're not where you want to be at. Environment as well. You fall to your environment of who you're around, not what you know. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but what good is it if you're around people that don't take care of themselves, bro? What good is that? What good is it to know what you know, and you know what you know for a fact that you can run. You know for a fact that you can do all this shit. Well, excuse me, but you know what I'm saying? You know that you can do all of these things. But if you around people that's not reciprocating the same energy as you, then you setting yourself up for destruction. You setting yourself up for destruction, because in reality, you're not going to want to feel, you're not going to have that oomph in you in order to want to be better because of the people you're around. You know what I'm saying? You can talk to somebody, and after you talk to them, like, for example, you could talk to somebody that's doing way better than you. After that conversation, you're going to feel like you're on top of the world. You're going to feel like you can achieve something. But you can also talk to a person and feel like, golly, like, why am I, you know what I'm saying? Like, why am I feeling like drained after this conversation? You feeling drained after that conversation due to the simple fact that's the energy that they are carrying. You know what I'm saying? And us as human beings, we so sensitive to energy, which is why we can pick up on this type of energy instantly. We can pick up on it right away. We can instantly pick up when somebody is not doing what they're supposed to be doing. We can instantly pick up when somebody is saying they're going to do something, but in reality, they is not doing it. We can pick up when a person has an addiction, but they're trying to mask their addiction with a joke and then try to make it seem like they don't have an addiction, but in reality, it's a coping mechanism / escapism. Because that's just what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. That's the truth. You know? But like I said, man, it's one of them things where you just got to be in tune with yourself. You know, you got to be in tune with yourself at all times. Even if you're a person that is going through this type of problem or addiction, it's not worth it at the end of the day. Like, you got to really think to yourself, like, it ain't worth it. No amount of alcohol is going to save you. No amount of weed is going to save you. No amount of coping mechanism is going to save you. The only way you really going to save yourself is to replace negative habits with positive habits. That's the only real way you're going to save yourself. Instead of scrolling, You know what I'm saying? We take all this time and energy to focus on you know what I'm saying, what somebody doing behind a TikTok screen or behind a phone screen. But in reality, it's hard to take 20 minutes to read a day. All it takes is 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Read something that you actually invested in, whether that be real estate, whether that be sales, whether that be self-improvement, whether that be finances, whether that be personal training, workouts. There's plenty of books out here, plenty. Books about business, corporate, machines, AI. You know what I'm saying? It's plenty of info in books. People think the information is on Google, but the real information is in books. The real information, the information that you really gonna get is in them books. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to think, a book is a thought process. People don't just write anything in books. You know what I'm saying? Especially real writers that know what they're doing. They don't just write anything in books. You know, so if you create a book, that means you got to really have it thought out. Like, you got to really take time and have a real plan and thought process, which is why it has so much information in books in the first place. Now, don't get me wrong. Some books it's not worth reading because the writing is probably terrible, or it probably just don't fit the description of what you're looking for. But majority of the time, bro, books is where it's at when it comes to information. Don't get me wrong. We got Google and stuff like that, but books is where it's at. You know what I'm saying? They got books on how to stop addictions. They got books on how to replace bad habits with, negative habits / bad habits with positive habits. They got books on everything that you can imagine. You know what I'm saying? All it takes is 20 minutes. 20 minutes of non-destructive reading. Meaning you're not picking up a phone. You're not listening to music. None of that. Just straight, deep work of 20 minutes of reading a day. Next thing you know, you're going to like reading. Next thing you know, next thing you know, you might want to start doing 40 minutes of reading. But 20 minutes. 20. And then another thing reading do, it increases your focus. You know what I'm saying? You got to really focus. Like, one thing about reading, you have to really focus in order to really understand what you're reading. Because you're not able to just skim through reading like how you skim through everything else in life. You can't just skim through reading. If you actually trying to gain what's in the book, like the knowledge that's in the book, you can't just skim it. You got to actually pay attention to it. You know what I'm saying? So, like I say, bro, drugs and alcohol is not cool. It would never be cool, and it's cruel. You are killing your insides. Your precious body. Why would you want to do that to yourself? Why would you want to do that to yourself? You are killing your temple. You are killing your kingdom. You are killing your queen, for the ladies out there. You are killing yourself. You killing yourself more than helping yourself. The fact that you even got a thought process with coping mechanisms and escapes is killing yourself. Because 9 times out of 10, a coping mechanism is not affiliated with positive habits. When people think of coping mechanism, they instantly think of stuff that is not healthy. Alcohol, drugs, porn, masturbation, lust. You know what I'm saying? Binge watching TV shows, binge watching Netflix, binge watching cartoons, binge watching TikTok, Instagram Reels, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter. 9 times out of 10, when you think of a coping mechanism, you don't think about positive stuff, because that's what society portrays cope. That's what majority of the world / society portrays the word coping mechanism for. When in reality, coping doesn't just mean negative habits. Coping can mean a lot of different things. You going to the gym is a coping mechanism because you're literally using the gym as therapy. I recommend every man and woman go to the gym. The gym take 30 minutes to an hour max. You walk a mile for 24 minutes, 2.5 miles per hour, 24 minutes, a mile. You get done with that mile, you probably got to go to the restroom. Next thing you know, you got 30 more minutes to do whatever you want. You can do push-ups, pull-ups. Or if you're doing split, you can do back, shoulders. You can do arms, legs. You can do chest, abs. You know what I'm saying? 30 minutes. Or if you're a person like me that run, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a runner by heart. You know, I love to run. But if you're a person like me that like to run, bro, it take you 9 minutes max to run a mile, bro. You got 50 minutes, bro, literally. After that. You know what I'm saying? 50 minutes. Do your 9-minute mile, 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? If you're a person that is not familiar with running, it might take you a little longer, 12 minutes maybe. 50, you still got 40 minutes to do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? You do that, and then you go on about your business. You know what I'm saying? And then you take care of what you need to take care of. But the point I'm trying to get at is there's different ways of coping with life. Because don't get me wrong, bro. Yes, I get it. It's tough. You know what I'm saying? We got family, we got bills and all of this and stuff like that. But it's like there's other ways you can cope. You get what I'm saying? Coping doesn't just deprive from certain things. You know what I'm saying? When you think of a coping mechanism or an scapegoat, instead of attaching it to a negative habit or a negative thing, attach it with positive habits. 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 Attach it with positive thinking. Attach it with positive love. Because all love ain't good love. All love ain't good love. So attach it with positive. You know what I'm saying? That's really all you got to do. But I'm going to say this, man. No amount of alcohol, no amount of weed is going to fulfill you. What's really going to fulfill you is taking care of your family. Taking care of your body. Liking what you see in the mirror. Feeling good about what you see in the mirror. Because when you look up in the mirror, bro, that's the person you got to be honest with. You can't lie to that person you see in the mirror. You can't lie to that person you see in the mirror. So when you look in that mirror, feeling good about what you see up in the mirror, you can't feel good about yourself knowing that you are a slave to an addiction, bro. You can't feel it's impossible to feel good about yourself if you are a slave to an addiction. Nobody can convince me otherwise. You can't convince me otherwise. You are okay with being a slave to an addiction that you know for a fact you need to get rid of. You can't convince me you're okay. You can't. You can convince other people you're okay. You can convince the world that you're okay. You can tell society that you're okay. You can tell your family members that you're okay. You can tell your kids that you're okay. But in reality, that person that you see in the mirror is the only person you can't lie to. You can't lie to him or her. You can't lie to him. What your body look like, you can't lie. You know what I'm saying? You can't. You fat, you out of shape. You can't lie to yourself. It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? You could try to make it seem like you're on shape on Instagram and stuff and things of that nature. But in reality, you're out of shape. It take you 15 minutes to run a mile. If even that. If even you can run. That's not good. But I'm going to leave it off with this, though. I'm going to leave it off with this. Always remember this. In order to get rid of your current circumstance, you have to replace it with a new circumstance. Meaning you cannot be around the same people if you want to improve. You can't be around the same people if you want a new reality. You can't be around the same environment if you want better opportunities. You just can't. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to leave y'all off with that. Always remember, bro, drugs and alcohol is never the way to go. There's multiple ways you can cope. Multiple. Drawing, music, expressing yourself through pain as far as music goes. Painting. You know what I'm saying? It's multiple ways out. The gym, walking, exercising, cardio, sports. There's multiple ways you can use coping mechanisms. Coping mechanism doesn't just mean negative habits or negative things. Coping mechanism have a lot of different meanings. And escape. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just leave y'all off with that, man. Like I said, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure y'all comment, share, subscribe, like. You know what I'm saying? And I'm out. Peace.